What's up, Brew Bros? Today we're going to be bottling the flat tire.
Alright, this will be bottling 101. So we checked the gravity on our flat tire the other day. It was 1.012. Then we checked it a couple days later. It was also 1.012. So that shows it's completely fermented and ready to bottle. Brew up.
So, the first step in bottling is cleaning your bottles. Go ahead and buy some bottles online, or you can just reuse some that you used before. We're just cleaning Alpha King, Spotted Cow, and just taking off the labels. So go ahead, soak them in some water, peel off the labels, clean them real nice, and then we're going to get to the sanitation.
Alright, so we got all our bottles cleaned and rinsed off. Next thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to sanitize all of our bottles. So we have a bottling bucket right here. It has a spout on it, so we can drain our beer into all of our bottles. And inside here we just have a mixture of sanitizing solution, and we're sanitizing our little bottle wand, our siphon, and our siphon hose. So while we're waiting for those pieces to sanitize, we're going to make our priming sugar mix. So the priming sugar is important because it's going to carbonate the beer. The yeast that's left over in the beer is going to eat it up, build up some carbon dioxide in there, and we're going to get some carbonation. So this recipe came with 5 ounces of corn sugar, mixed in with about a cup of boiling water. So the water's still heating up, that's okay. Just dump that in there, stir everything up, and we're going to let this boil for, I usually let it boil for about 5 minutes.
Alright, so what we're doing right now is just sanitizing these bottles with the bottle wand. We just put the bottle right in here, and the bottom of that nozzle is going to push and just release sanitizer into the bottle. Once you get some sanitizer in there, just shake it up, dump it out, and it's sanitized.
Alright, so while Jeff's sanitizing those bottles, I'm just going to cut in here, and I'm going to fill up this bowl here with sanitizer solution. And I'm going to put some bottle caps in here because you want to make sure your bottle caps, of course, are sanitized also.
We want to get a good amount of semen in there as well.
Cold activated cap. Just wanted to point out, while Jeff's dumping out all those sanitized bottles into the sink, we're hanging them right here on this bottling tree, which is nice because you can put a ton of bottles on it. It doesn't take up too much space, and they just drain out into the bottom. You don't need that. You could also, put it in a milk crate, put all the bottles upside down in there, or even just a regular beer box.
We're just going to pop this bad boy off right now. Alright, so now we're going to be transferring our beer from our fermentation bucket to our bottling bucket. So we can do this by using a auto siphoner. And all you do is you take your siphoner and hook up a tube to it, and you're just going to put it into the bottling bucket and just do a couple pumps, and you can see that the beer is going to start flowing into the bottling bucket. So you want to do that a couple times until it starts actually flowing into it constantly, and you can just let gravity do the work. So now we're going to be dumping in that sugar.
You want to make sure you dump in your priming sugar pretty close to right when the beer starts siphoning in there. So you mix it in there well. The better you mix it in, the more evenly your beer is going to carbonate in the bottles. That beer's so amber. Alright, so we got all our bottles sanitized and for the most part dry. So we're going to do the same thing we did with this little bottling wand right here. Press the bottle up into the bottling wand. It's automatically going to start filling it. And fill it pretty close to the top. And then be careful you don't overfill it. But by the time you pull it out, it's going to be pretty close to maybe an inch away from the top, so that's enough headspace in the bottle. We're just going to keep doing that about 47 more times. So after you empty out all your beer into the bottling bucket, you may notice some kind of nasty looking stuff on the bottom. There's nothing wrong with it, that's okay. I wouldn't recommend tasting it, but what it is it's all the dead yeast that kind of fell to the bottom after it did its job. And it's also going to be some of that hop material we've seen floating around when we were originally brewing it.
Alright, so we're at the point where we're going to start capping the beer. So we got a tabletop capper right here, but they also make handheld cappers. It just depends on how much money you got. All we're doing is sticking it under here, taking our sanitized cap, line it up, push it down, and that's one.
Well, there you have it. So we bottled about 45 bottles of the flat tire, ended up with about 4.5 gallons in our bottling bucket. We lost a little bit due to the trub in the primary fermenter.
Yeah, but a good haul, we're going to wait about 2 weeks for it to carbonate, but that of course can vary depending on what beer you're making. Overall, this is our end to our intro for brewing, extract, and bottling. Until next time.